Well, Steve, this is the second of our podcasts, and this time we have to decide what the chapters will be and what will go into them.
Yeah, it's quite an undertaking with only, 60,000 words.
Yeah, I think we need a basic introduction to speaking. Our book is not about phonetics and the science of speech. It's more about interaction and speaking in social contexts, isn't it? And then we can move on to more detailed features. And I think really a good place to start is the difference between speaking and writing.
Which has changed hugely. And now with digital discourse, they've merged really, haven't they, largely?
I think another interesting aspect for us is the fact that if you're working as a language teacher, you're working with written dialogues in course books and so on. So there are a lot of questions about how or if you can write down spoken language, especially conversation.
You can't really, but we need something that we can work with in the classroom for teaching purposes. That needs to be covered. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think we definitely need 2 chapters, don't we, on vocabulary and grammar?
Yes, yes, I agree, because grammar of speaking has distinct characteristics to do with interactions, such as joint construction. And of course, the vocabulary can create informality and differences between the kinds of words you use in speaking and writing. What about things like discourse analysis, conversation analysis?
Yeah, we need a whole chapter on that because that's analyzing spoken language. We need tools to do that, like discourse analysis, conversation analysis, pragmatics.
That's true, yes, and things like turn taking. I think that then leads us naturally into the area of your greatest expertise, the language classroom.
If we took that as one context, one particular context, we could go into it then in a lot more detail and look at how turn-taking, co-construction work and how that actually influences learning.
All the time at the back of my mind, I've been thinking, where do we bring in technology? And I think it needs a whole chapter, doesn't it?
In one sense, we'll be weaving it through the whole book because you can't really talk about this without mentioning technology, but I think a standalone chapter as well.
We'll have to say something about artificial intelligence too.
Well, everyone's going to be wanting to know our particular take on that, and
Yeah.
whatever we write will be out of date almost as soon as the book comes out.
Yes. Can we have a conversation with a machine? The final chapter could be spoken English around the world. All these different ways of using English. There's sort of English as a lingua franca. You have the robust varieties of English in different countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people talk about the richness of English as a language, and one of the reasons for that is it borrows from other languages.
People are using English in their jobs. They're also using it in their homes. Plurilingual families are quite common now. English might be the only common language in a family or in a business, obviously.
I think that's really good, and and sort of slightly forward-looking towards the end as well.
Yes.
So 8 chapters, I think, by my reckoning. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Some people will say, oh, you've missed this, you've missed that, but the book is the basics.
Absolutely.
Our final podcast will be all about the structure and filling in the details for each chapter. Do join us.